What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, guys, we are back with another DC Hot Toys unboxing and review video. And today, guys, we are going to be doing Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam from the movie Black Adam. This is a figure that has been very anticipated, and I am so excited to go ahead and get this guy unboxed and reviewed. Again, a lot of great expectations about him. A very unique figure, to say the least. I cannot remember the last time that Hot Toys released a Black Adam. I think this is the first time they ever do one, so very excited to go ahead and get this guy unboxed. There were 3 different versions for Black Adam. There was the collector edition or standard edition. There was the deluxe version with the normal armor, which is the blue color, and then also there was the golden armor champion version for him with also the deluxe accessories. So pretty much you guys have all those 3 choices to pick. Unfortunately, for this video, I did get only the standard version when it comes to Black Adam. Eventually, I do want to go ahead and get the golden armor, but for now we only have the normal standard edition. But either way, again, we'll try to get the best out of it. Very excited to go ahead and get started. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing. Starting off with the box design. So first and foremost, this design is freaking awesome. I love how it looks. Pretty much we have The Rock or Black Adam in the main cover along with his chest logo behind him that looks very, very bright. Pretty much the background is this kind of glossy type of scratchy surface that just looks amazing on the box. And of course, we do get the name of the figure or movie at the bottom in this glossy color. Everything looks great so far. On the right side, we get again that glossy background. Again, I really can't tell what it is, right? But it just looks really, really good on it. We do get the name of the figure along with this multi-triangle lightning logo and some lightning effects on it. On the back, we get his chest logo again along with the figure or character itself. Inside that chest piece or chest logo, we get the name of the figure at the top, some warning and legal signs, and this time the background is kind of like a rocky type of surface behind it, so everything looks really, really good. On the right side, same thing as the left, lightning effects, the multi-triangle logo, name of the figure, the glossy background. Everything looks great so far. Love how it looks on the box itself. And then at the top, we do get this black background along with a weird font for Black Adam that looks really, really good. So we don't get the actual original movie logo, but still in all, it looks great. I would say off to a fantastic start. Now, we don't get a second box, but we do get this second cover that looks freaking awesome as well. We get his chest logo pretty much all around the main cover along with some lightning effects and a glossy type of coloring. It just looks so good in a black background. I think it's perfect for a second cover for this figure, and I just love how the figure is included on the box. It's very well protected, and I can tell it's going to be hard to even break it in any way because it is just very well covered. So I am very happy about that. Now, getting this guy for the first time, my first impressions, first and foremost, he is really heavy. Now, to me, that's not surprising. Obviously, this character is a big character, and so I'm not surprised about that, but he looks really, really good. I am in love with that face sculpt. It looks exactly as Dwayne Johnson. The figure itself, it looks hefty. It has presence to him. So we are off to a fantastic start. Cannot ask for a better start to this. Obviously, a little bit later on, we will review him in detail. But before we do, we're going to go ahead and review his accessories one by one. We'll go ahead and do a couple of side-by-side comparisons. And then, of course, at the end, we'll do some posing and pretty much give our final thoughts about the figure. Okay, guys, so with the accessories, so sadly this is all we get. Again, since I only got the standard edition, I really don't get the big base that it came with, the extra head sculpt and other things. Now, again, as I mentioned before, I say yet because eventually I do plan on getting the deluxe golden armor version, but for now, for this standard blue armor edition, we do get this hexagonal base. Either way, this base is really, really good. I love his chest logo in the middle of that background along with some lighting effects on it. The name of the figure at the bottom in his font. Everything looks great about this base, so they did go out. What I love is that the flight pole is taller than usual, so that is a great thing. The only thing is that unfortunately, because of that piece at the top that you guys can see, I cannot put this waist kind of clamper in the middle. It can only be at the very top, so that's possibly a disadvantage, but at the same time, I feel like we do want to have that waist clamper or waist holder at the very top, so that way the figure looks like it's flying a little bit higher. So that is going to be the base. To me, it looks really, really good, so I have no issues with it. Now, the cape itself, to me, the cape is absolutely awesome as well. It comes with wiring all around it. So we get wiring on the sides, we get wiring in the back, we get wiring on the hood. Pretty much this cape is very, very adjustable. As I always say, it's going to depend on you guys how you want to go ahead and adjust it to make the figure look as natural as you possibly can be. But I just love the texture and the material of which the cape is made of. It is the black and gold color that he has in the movie, so it is movie accurate. And as I mentioned before, the hood does come with wiring, so it is going to take us a while to go ahead and adjust it to make the figure as natural as possible. But this is the cape. I love how it looks amazing. Obviously, it adds an extra accessory to the figure, so I'm glad that the standard edition does come with this. Obviously, I believe that the deluxe version or golden armor did come with another cape itself. Sadly, we don't get that. Hopefully we do once I do decide to go ahead and get the golden armor. And then it does come with 3 different lightning pieces. So we get the blue lightning. Now this one, I could tell it's going to go all around his chest and back area. The one thing I do love about the lightning pieces, to me they're the same material as other figures that we've received in the past, but these do look a little bit brighter than usual, so I am in love with that. Sadly, there are no LED lights for these lightning pieces, so that's as good as it gets. These two, I can definitely tell they're gonna go in each of his arms. Again, as I mentioned before, the coloring just looks a little bit brighter and a little bit better than usual, so that's a great thing, and I cannot wait to go ahead and try it on the figure. Obviously, a little bit later on, I'm gonna tell you guys which lightning color I prefer on this figure, because obviously with the golden armor there is a golden or yellow lightning effects. Now we do get 3 pairs of hands. To me, the skin texture is absolutely perfect on these hands. Obviously on one of them he has kind of like a semi glove, on the other hand he doesn't, but to me the skin texture is very nicely done, and the hands are huge compared to other figures. Now again, the hands, I would understand if they are huge. Obviously The Rock is a huge actor, as well as the character itself. It is a big character, so no issues whatsoever if the hands are as huge as they are. But again, as I mentioned before, the skin texture is perfect, and I think it matches the figure very, very well. So no issues whatsoever with these pairs of hands. Obviously we do get 2 other pairs of hands. One is going to be with his closed fist, and this is the one that we are grabbing right now. So as far as the closed fist, as I always mention, it gives us options to pose the figure, so at this point it is completely up to you guys what hands you guys want to include on it. But what I can say is that again, all 3 pairs have amazing skin texture and all hands are huge, so we're definitely gonna have a lot of fun when it comes to posting this guy. So again, the hands look perfect. I have no issues with the accessories. Obviously wish I would have had the deluxe version, but we don't. But I think what we have is, you know, it's good so far, right? As you guys can see here, obviously the wrapping around his hand does come with all of his left hands, so no issue there whatsoever, right? They want to go ahead and clarify that. So again, this is going to be it for the accessories. I would say we're off to a great start. Again, this is only the standard edition, so we don't get some of the things that do come on the deluxe version, but for now this is it for the accessories. I would say we're off to a great start. Okay, starting off with the figure on its own, I did want to cover this guy in detail. So as I mentioned before, the figure is very heavy, and it's completely understandable. Obviously, again, The Rock is a big person, so it is understandable. Now, taking a look at the face sculpt, speaking of The Rock, this face sculpt is perfect to me. I have no issues whatsoever about this face sculpt. It is as perfect as they could have made it. Now, the images that they had provided on Sideshow, I was a little bit disappointed, but not here. In person, he looks more like The Rock than we could have possibly imagined. The only issue that I have with the face sculpt is the way that it connects to the neck. So there is a seam line, but it is connected very well. But because it is connected very well, we're not really able to move his face to different positions. Now, I'm still okay with that because we're really not going to move the face a lot, but still, right, I feel like it would have given us a little bit more flexibility when it comes to the face. Now the suit itself, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not good when it comes to materials. I really don't know what the suit would be made of, but what I can say is that the material looks fantastic on it. The boots itself, I can tell they're not going to be damaged in any way. There's no pleather, there's nothing that can really get damaged about these boots, so we're going to be perfect with we're going to be perfectly fine with that. It would be only the suit, right? Obviously when we're stretching the character, I do want to see how the hands make the suit look, as well as the legs. But again, the armor, the coloring looks perfect. It looks exactly as it is. Now this is one of the issues that I did have, and it's with the seam lines and the hands. I mean, at some point I feel like Hot Toys has to upgrade. They have to upgrade, and they have to understand that that the seam lines do kind of make the figure just a tad bit worse than what he actually should be. Now the articulations itself, so as you guys can see, that's what I wanted to see, how the suit bends. So as you guys can see, it does bend a little bit, so I think over time it could get damaged, so we do want to go ahead and avoid that. Eventually we do want to pose Black Adam in certain positions, but not this much. So I think he should be fine, the suit should be fine. I don't think we'll have any issues as far as stretching the arms. Again, the suit does seem to stretch a little bit, but again, it would be a matter of us making sure that we don't post this figure in weird positioning, so that way it doesn't damage the suit in any way. So like I mentioned before, the suit looks perfect, the head sculpt looks great, I really have no issues. And the back, as you guys can see, that's where we're going to go ahead and attach the cable if we want to light up his chest logo in the middle. We'll obviously try that a little bit later on in the video, along with a couple of different views, or I guess ways that we can post the figure. But for now, I will say that the figure looks great, no issues whatsoever. Now, one thing that I wanted to go ahead and try was the rotating eyes, and thankfully this figure does come with rotating eyes, and it makes such a big difference to me. It is such a huge game changer. It makes the figure just look more naturally better. The posing just looks naturally better. Everything about the figure looks perfect because of those rolling eyes. So as you guys can see, we have them right here, so obviously a big game changer when it comes to the figure. Now here we have him with his cape on, or cloak, and it just looks better with it. I think that the figure looks better with it, and as I mentioned before, the cape is great. It's very detailed, it comes with a lot of wiring, but of course here the challenge for us as collectors is going to be adjusting that hood to make it as natural as possible when it comes to posing. Now again, putting a hood on the Rock is one of the weirdest things that we'll ever do, right? But again, that's the way that the character was, so we have to make it that way. But again, it's going to be an adjustment. Right now I'm just trying it on him just to kind of see how he looks, but hopefully when I do a couple of poses, we can get a more natural position when it comes to the hood. But I would say that with the cape, it looks better. The figure just looks absolutely perfect. And then the last look, I went ahead and installed everything with it. And what I mean with everything, so I went ahead and put his lightning effects on him, along also with his cape. So the good thing is that it comes with, it can, you know, we can put all these things together without any issues. And then I also went ahead and installed his cable that goes to the back attach. The way that we're gonna go ahead and light up the chest logo is gonna be the same way that we lighted up the lightsabers for Reva and the Grand Inquisitor. Obviously we did their unboxings earlier this week or last week. Now here with this figure, as you guys can see, we went ahead and turned on the lightning logo, and now this time Hot Toys to me got it right. Now it might not look that great in camera because obviously the quality of my camera isn't the greatest, but in person the lightning effects looks absolutely awesome to me. Finally they got it right. Could there still be an improvement? Maybe, but I think this is a great start. I think that the lightning logo lights up perfectly. It looks good on the figure, and you know, as you guys were able to see whenever we turned off the lights, you know, we can see a very shining chest logo on the figure. So I think they got it right this time. To me, the only issue is that we're not able to actually charge the box. We have to have it connected at all times. So to me, that's kind of a big issue of mine when it comes to the figure, but at least it does light up very well. So now guys, a couple of quick side-by-side comparisons. So the first one is going to be a very emotional one for me. So we get Black Adam, obviously portrayed by Dwayne Johnson, and then we get my Black Superman played by Henry Cavill. You know, one of the most disappointing things about the movie is that they showed Henry making a comeback as Superman on that last scene. and then all of a sudden we get him canceled right a couple months later. So obviously we will never get to see this matchup again. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Dwayne Johnson will also not return as Black Adam, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me, guys, if I'm wrong. But again, DC as a franchise is just so inconsistent. I feel like whenever Henry had came back, it was one of the best news we could have possibly, have gotten. And then unfortunately now he's no longer going to be part of the franchise, right? But as far as this comparison, the reason why I'm doing it is because, number one, both characters look as buff as possible. To me, this is a battle that we really have never gotten as far as 1-by-1, but it is one that I would love to see because both of these characters are powerful in their own way. To me, Black Adam is one of the most underrated villains of all time. He is as powerful as it gets, and so is Clark, right? So I wanted to go ahead and do the side-by-side comparison. These guys had a big connection whenever they did the movie, but unfortunately we're not going to get them again, right? So a very, very big disappointment, but at least I wanted to go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison between them both. And then second side-by-side comparison, I'm going to go ahead and do my tactical suit Batman, played by Ben Affleck. First and foremost, the thing that still amazes me is how huge Batman looks with that armor. I mean, he even looks much bigger than Black Adam, and that is a very hard thing to say. Now, I wanted to go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison between these two guys because, again, both of them have material where it makes them look much bigger, I guess, if I can say it that way, as far as both figures, right? I believe the coloring is very similar, and I don't ever recollect having these two characters match up in any way. Obviously Black Adam is the more powerful character, right? But obviously Bruce is the smarter one, so that is also a matchup that I would love to see. Who knows if we'll ever get these guys together in a movie for DC. Again, they just seem to restart their projects every time, so we really don't know what they have in store next for us, right? But I did want to go ahead and do this second side-by-side comparison, to me, both characters look great. Love their suits, love everything about them. And now, guys, we have reached the end of the video, where, as I always like to say, I like to post the figures in different ways just to kind of show off how great they look. And as I always mention, I'm still a beginner when it comes to posing. To me, I feel like a Black Adam, I had to try the best I possibly could to make sure that these poses were as good as possible. As I mentioned before with Black Adam, I don't think we're ever going to get another Black Adam, right? Unless with these new DC movies, there is a new Black Adam. But to me, Dwayne Johnson as The Rock as Black Adam was one of the weirdest castings I've ever seen. But I will give him this. It did work. I thought he did a fantastic job with the character. Looked terrifying, looked very evil, very powerful, and that is definitely something that does apply to Black Adam. As I mentioned on the side-by-side comparison with Superman, to me, this guy is one of the most underrated villains of all time. I think he is as powerful as it gets. So I've always wondered why DC has never really given this guy, I guess, a bigger importance when it comes to the main characters. But still in all, glad to know that Black Adam finally got a movie, right? And again, with this unboxing, as I mentioned before, I'm not really here to to talk about the movie and whether it was great or bad, or whether Dwayne did a good job as as Black Adam. Obviously, we're here to talk about the figure itself, right? And if it looks like the character, if the figure is great. And to me, it is. I really cannot find any issues whatsoever. The only issue that I have is with myself for not getting the deluxe version of the figure. But as I mentioned before, right, again, this guy does come with his regular blue armor. So actually, no, the regular armor, and the cloak. So I do eventually want to go ahead and get the golden armor just to kind of pair him up, since the figures would look a little different. But still, no, as I mentioned before, very excited to have this Black Adam. I think he looks great. No issues whatsoever. Face sculpt is as good as ever. The way that the suit is done is nicely, as well as the cape. So no issues whatsoever when it comes to this figure on its own. Now, before I do go ahead and end the video, as always, want to thank you guys for the continued support. As I always mention, you guys are the best. I do want to appreciate each and one of y'all for subscribing to my channel. As I always say, if this is the first time that you are watching me, feel free to like this video, leave a comment, giving your opinion on Black Adam. And also feel free to subscribe to my channel, as well as hitting the notifications bell, so that way you're always updated with anything that's coming up on my channel. Also, I am on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and include the links to that in the description of the video in case you guys want to go ahead and check me out and follow me. There, I post daily updates about my channel on both TikTok and Instagram. So, again, appreciate as always the support. This guy, again, he looks great. Did have some issues posting him, but I feel like it's a matter of time, and I think it's worth the wait because this character is as good as it gets. Again, wish I could have gotten the deluxe version, but one day we will. But for now, I am very excited with what I have. Very happy to finally get this guy, and it is one that I highly recommend once he does become available with Sideshow Collectibles. So again, guys, as I mentioned before, this is going to be it for this unboxing for Black Adam. Thank you once again for tuning into my channel today, and I will see you next time.